my name is Jordan Leroy Hansen, also known as La Def, and I'm here to actually cover just the basics of puzzle mode. I'm going to probably make some further videos on this, like trying to complete each of the boss queens and maybe talk about some minimal design elements of each one. But mostly, this is a mode it's kind of like a joke at a comedy bar. You don't really want to spoil the joke, so if you want to see me play these throughout, you can, but I would personally recommend you just go and try these out yourself, because some of these are actually just legitimately kind of fun. Now, what this is going back a little bit, showing what it is, it's the Boomsday project's new single-player expansion called the Puzzle Lab. Now, what the Puzzle Lab essentially basically amounts to is creating puzzles by using specific board states that can happen within Hearthstone, and some that can't. They actually tested with some unique little elements in here. And basically, they put these into different type of puzzles, such as Lethal, Mirror, Board Clear, and Survival. Lethal is kind of self-explanatory for anyone who played Hearthstone for a while. It basically amounts to, A, can you use the tools that you have with yourself to get the opponent's life down to 0 or more. Mirror is one of the more interesting ones that I toyed with a little bit. This one basically amounts to that you have to get the board state exactly like the other side of the board. So, 2 minions have to be in the exact same place, same health, same attack, etc. Then board clear is self-explanatory. This one is where you have to clear the entire board, make sure that no minions are on the board state to complete the puzzle. Survival is basically what happens is the hero's going to have a hero power that deals 29 damage to you. They toy with the formats from what I heard so far about how that happens, but basically it amounts to, hey, I gotta get myself up to 30 health, or get myself into a board state that will allow me to stay alive. And these here are actually the exclusive Boom puzzles, which we'll get to those once we get to those in later videos and such. But overall, I'm just going to go through the basics and actually just go through each of the first, like, the apprentice and the quote-unquote professor or scientist of each of the beginning puzzles, such as the Lethal, Mirror, Board Clear, Survival, etc. I completed some of these, but I will repeat them, so let's start out with Lethal. We're playing with the assistant Poison Master Polark, and we'll show you kind of like how they kind of do this format. So, it's pushing the big red button, yada yada yada.
Myra versus Polark.
They don't even say Poison Master, they say Polark. Okay, that's kind of funny. So yeah, Lethal. Destroy the enemy hero.
I'm a poison tester today. Just sign right here.
We'll start you off with some pain tolerance testing. Try and knock him out.
Wait, I am the recipient? Let me check my contract.
I'll probably try to keep silent during the dialogue, because some of the dialogue is actually pretty funny. But mostly, as they say, they do the thematic that pretty much we have to knock out this assistant here, so to pretty much test the knockout resistance or, you know, plot justification here. So obviously, he's at 9 health, we gotta get him down to 0. We have a charge minion, we have our weapon that we equipped, so it's easy. You see the combo here, you see the poison dagger here, so we just do Badoo, Badoo, and then Badoo, and boop.
Whoa, hold it there, close enough.
And it's nice how they actually don't, like, do the whole explosion. Like, they know we're going to go through each of these little individual elements have 7 puzzles in them. So it's nice how they don't, like, explode every time and such.
Some
And
minions can attack right away. Quick and painful.
so yeah, nice thematic here with, Myra, I believe is her name. I have a gold under her, if I recall correctly. So yeah, it's nice how they kind of sequence this and such, so you can actually do all the puzzles without going in and out, in and out, in and out. So, okay. I think this one's kind of simple. Like, it's tempting to go, Frostbolt, Frostbolt, and then it's like, oh. But then you realize, oh, it only does 9 points of damage. One thing you will notice right off the bat with these puzzle modes is they're very sequential in nature. You have to sequence your moves and also realize kind of like, how to interact with the board state. Like, people remember this in the old while.
Accident, recipient must donate their assets to Dr. Boom.
Okay, that was funny. But yeah, so instead of going Frostbolt, Frostbolt, it's actually more logical to do Frostbolt. And then Ice Lance, which is an old card from that just rotated into Hall of Fame, as you notice with that little symbol there. Freeze a character if it was already frozen, deal 4 damage. Oh hey, coincidentally, enough point to deal damage.
Yeah, that works.
This one's kind of the funny one because this is kind of when they get into the point. Oh,
Testing before, it can't be that bad, right?
okay, I really need to learn the sequencing of how when to talk when before the dialogue and such. But basically now what this does is it gives you a bunch of extra cards and they try to trick you because you think of something along the lines of, oh, I can do this, I get this stat boost, I get this, and then you're like, oh wait, that doesn't work. I don't have enough mana and such. And they do the nifty feature rather than having to go exit out of the puzzle. Well, it says right here, if we're stuck, we can retry. So, we know one thing we need to have.
I'm sure there's correction fluid somewhere.
So we know we have to put the Stone Toss Boar out. So we have to sequence this to make it where we can deal lethal damage. Wind Fury is probably going to be the ticket here. Then we have just 3 mana left, so we're going to give it a Rock Biter weapon. Then that, and then Badoo! Badoo! And this is where it gets a teeny bit tricky if you don't realize your sequence.
Sacrifice.
So, let's see here. We know the cheapest thing to do is attack in here, and attack in here. So then, here's where they kind of test you one thing. Like, we know that this gives us +2 attack, so we get attack. The problem is, if we try to attack with 4 damage, it won't deal enough damage. But, we need to remember, this one tests your ability of placement. And as you can see, if we make sure we place everything left the totem, badoo, badoo.
All right, I get it.
And Polark is pretty much having probably enough damage, so...
Oh, I shouldn't have signed in ink.
So now, this is a fun puzzle because this one actually tests your knowledge of Frothing Berserker. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain 1 attack. So, what we do here... I'm going to go through these puzzles quick and probably go through the other ones a lot more shorter because this video is going to be as long as it is, covering all the basic puzzle types. Okay, then we go... Boop. And you're like, wait, there's not enough damage. Doop. Badoo. Now it's enough. Badoo! Okay, now this one messed me up the first time I did it. Because you think intuitively, by the way the cards are sequentialized, you're like, oh, this is like the classic Trollden video where you just do this, then do this. Then do this. And you're like, oh wait, that doesn't work. Okay, we gotta redo it. Also, the reset animation is actually really cool.
But I'm sure it could be stronger.
Now this one is the classic example of be observant of all the pawns on the board. Remember this, and also read the card. Ticket Abomination. Deal 5 damage to your minions, aka his minions. This doesn't target a friendly minion. It says any minion. So... So now, we can complete the puzzle. Another one that can mess you up if you don't know your sequencing.
Trouble. Experiment. That's what we're here for.
I actually like how they did that dialogue there, because it's kind of one of those scenes where they want you to introduce you the ability to experiment with a lot of cards. But like I said, the main way to solve these puzzles is, the keyword is being very sequential with your turns. Like, for example, this one, the classic mistake I made is play this guy, and it's like, okay, we got that. And I'm like, okay, then I'll play this guy, and then I'll play the coin, and then I'll do this, and then that's enough lethal damage, right? No, it's not. Because we always make one little mistake. Like, this was the mistake that I did like 2 times.
At least I will build up a tolerance to this.
Hopefully that's the case, good sir. Anyway, let's do that again. We play this, we play this, and then rather than going straight playing this guy, all we have to do is actually play the coin first. Then we play this, since our next spell has +2 spell damage, which gives us right enough damage to do the leap. One thing you gotta learn in this puzzle mode, the way you sequence your turn does matter a lot. I think this is one of my favorite beginner puzzles, because you think at first, oh, you just have to repeat this. They actually do a very clever kind of like, as we like to call it, a red herring, to think like, oh, I just have to constantly activate my hero power multiple times, right? And make this guy big. This puzzle is actually very simple. All you have to do, play dead, make his health 0, deal some points. As you see with this card, double the damage if you're healing, or damage or healing of your hero power. So, do the math, we can deal 32 damage. A little bit overkill, but hey. It works. And now we're on to what I like to call them just providing a spectacle. AKA, do you want to see how death rattles work if you're not very careful? Backup plan. Destroy all friendly minions. We have a bunch of bombs, but we also have explosive sheep. And he also has a bunch of... Well, I could probably go over explain this, but let's be frank, it's just as simple as... Watch the explosion! That's probably the easiest puzzle.
That will do. I'm going to go lie down.
And we got our first done. So now we're going to go to the... We're now going to go to the scientist.
Experiments with Necrium. Come, let's dance.
Actually, hang on one moment. You signed a waiver, signed the test. I didn't... It's kind of one of those, you always forget the little details. Trust her, you're helping. It's okay. We're now going to play with Myra Rotscreen. And see what her lethal puzzles are. Then we're just going to go straight down to cloning, and then all the other wings.
Rexa versus Myra.
Time to put this Necrium to good use.
And this is where I kind of like how they play with common expectations. Like, you think, oh, this is shiny, I must play this. This helps me with lethal, right? But when you think about it, it's like, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not enough. But this would be enough if we had a way to silence it. Oh, wait, we do. A nice, good starting puzzle, just testing how to be very as I like to call it, not like use the most powerful card or use the most assuming card.
Potent. The side effects don't scare me. I'm already dead.
Oh, so now we know Myra is a zombie scientist. That I did not know. Okay, so this one's pretty easy to start out with. We first take away the taunts.
Time for killing.
And then the temptation is just to go swing into this and make it die that way so we can steal his theme. But we never, sequence matters. Plus, look at all your cards. We have something to destroy a minion with 5 or more attack, so...
Let none survive.
all we have to do is this. And then 7 points of damage, which we do have.
Pain. That's something I haven't felt in a while.
Okay, this one is hilarious. Okay,
Ah, weapons. I like your style.
so as you see here, we have the Spud ME. After this minion survives damage, switch sides. Death Rattle, destroy your hero. So we have to make sure this dies on her side. So we're going to obviously use this. So the way I like to do this, if I remember my sequencing right, is I first attack with the Wisp. Then I play with this. Then I attack the Spud. And then all we have to do is just in a rage. And boom! Very nice. I kind of like the aspect of that puzzle design, especially with that card. This one messed me up so freaking much when I tried it during my lunch break. Okay. So, forgive me, this one I need to remember because the sequencing on this one is a little peculiar. But I remember the unintuitive thing was you had to attack in with this. Then paint it. Then play this. Oh, wait a minute, I think I got it. And then it will deal 1 point of damage. Oh boy. Here we go again. This one might take me a few tries.
Again, please.
Or was it? Was it yet to sequence it like this? Oh boy. Welcome to puzzles. Sometimes you mess up on your first try. Okay. Oh no, wait, yeah, this was the one we had to... Now I remember.
Clear the slate.
You have to do that. Nope, wait.
I'll reset the experiment.
Thanks, Myra. Okay. So you do this. You do this. I feel like I'm missing something. What was it again?
Resources that valuable can't go to waste.
Okay. Am I doing something wrong with the sequencing here? Whenever this minion takes damage, gain But no, it doesn't have enough to survive. I gotta keep that in mind. Isn't it like something like this? And then it was like this? Oh yeah, now I remember. Took me a minute. And then you deal point damage to this, which then, yeah, okay.
I just got an idea.
That took me a minute.
Hands-on research is the most efficient.
This one was tricky at first until I figured out the sequence, which it's destroy that, do this, and then it is turn, play that, do that, then you play a leper gnome, you destroy the leper gnome, and then what do?
I'm glad I'm not alive for this.
Okay, what's the next puzzle? This one I can do, though it's tricky. This one you really have to be careful of your sequence here. So, first things first, we gotta protect this. Then we gotta attack into here. And it's simple as execute, cleave, and then ba-doo! One more to go, and then we go on to the next type of puzzle. Oh, this one messed me up a couple times. But obviously we're trying to win since she's at 30 health. We can't deal enough damage, so we have to win by the alternate win condition, which in this case is summoning all 4 of your horsemen. So the sequence is, first, you play the hero. Obviously we don't have enough mana for crystals, so battery pack, we refresh our mana crystals. Then we first play the hero power.
Azeroth will be purified.
Then we play the backward Pitsy. Then we play the hero power again. Then we play Archer Master Beardo. Refresh again. Play that. Then save us board space. We destroy one of these guys. Get a point of damage. And then, bada beam, bada boom, that is lethal, and we're going on to the next type of puzzle.
I return.
Tricky, but well done.
Thank you. And so far, that is kind of like how lethal puzzles are. They're like what you think of lethal puzzles. Destroy damage, and try to get to lethal damage. Hold on a minute. Oh, there we go. That's the guy. There we go. So now, I think, should I separate these into mini chunk videos? I think that's actually a good idea. So, I'm going to separate these into multiple little chunks for the sake of time duration. So, I hope you enjoyed this introduction to what lethal puzzles are, and, well, let's keep solving more puzzles.